Wow, Remy, what's that you have in your hand? It looks so interesting.
Thanks. Do you understand it?
No, it looks like the same letters of the English alphabet, but they're all jumbled around. What does it say?
This is what we call ciphertext. If you were to look at the plain text, you would note it as Sonnet 130 by William Shakespeare.
Wow, so what does that even mean?
It means that I'm using cryptography.
But what is cryptography?
Cryptography is the science of creating and decoding secret messages whose meaning cannot be understood by others who might intercept the message. The message you try to send is called the plain text, and the message you actually send is called the ciphertext. To get the plain text from the ciphertext, you need the key to decode what it says.
Okay, but how did cryptography start?
Well, to explain that, we'd have to travel back in time, all the way to ancient Rome during the reign of Caesar, around 45 BC.
Wow, it originated all the way from ancient Rome?
Yep! Right, let's go! Woo-wee! Ow.
Hey. Ow.
Coded messages are nearly as old as civilization itself. Early developments of cryptography were present in the work of Mesopotamian, Egyptian, Chinese, and Indian scribes.
Okay, so what about Greece and Rome? Did they use cryptography?
Yes, in fact, the most is known about codes and ciphers in ancient Greece and ancient Rome than any other ancient civilization.
Yeah, doesn't the word cryptography come from the Greek word for hidden?
That's right, Vivian. And while the Greeks did come up with the polyibus square and skytail, it was the Romans that came up with the very first cipher, a particular Roman, in fact. The Roman Emperor Julius Caesar himself was the first to come up with his own cipher technique. Today it is known as the Caesar shift cipher.
Know all this if it was so long ago.
Actually, the Roman historian Suetonius wrote about Caesar's cipher in De Vita Caesarium. Here, read this.
If he had anything confidential to say, he wrote it in cipher, that is, by so changing the order of the letters of the alphabet, that not a word could be made out. If anyone wishes to decipher these and get at their meaning, he must substitute the fourth letter of the alphabet, namely D for A, and so with the others. Cool.
Taking two sets of the alphabet and shifting the top one over gives you a substitute for every letter. You can also see this using a Caesar shift decoding ring, which looks like this.
Oh, I see. Each of the outside letters matches up with one of the inside letters. It's like we're making another language.
That's right. So if you wanted to say, et tu, Brute, then using the Caesar shift, it would come out like this. HW, WX, EUX, WH.
So what did Caesar use this for?
Well, Vivian, he started using the cipher to send messages to his military generals of the far reaches of the empire. He wanted to have an extra security for these long-range and high-profile messages.
Wee.
Wee. Ow.
Put it back up.
All right.
At least mine.
Well, because the Caesar cipher is one of the oldest known cipher languages, it is extremely rudimentary and relatively easy to break. However, it paved the way for lots of other cipher languages that are still in use today. The ROT-13 cipher is a 13-step Caesar cipher that the Russian used for communication during World War I, and the Vigenère cipher is also an adaptation of the Caesar cipher and is much more secure.
Very cool.
Here's a fun fact. In the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey by Stanley Kubrick, the computer that turns against the crew is named HAL. HAL is actually a one-step Caesar shift. When you shift the letters HAL over 1, you get IBM, which is a huge technology company.
That is so cool.